Hello friends, welcome to my channel here at Akis. In this video, let me provide full CRUD course for .NET 8 Web API. So first we can start from the basic configuration for this .NET 8 setup. Then we can do these CRUD actions. Okay. So here I listed out all the steps. We can go one by one. So the first thing is we have to install this .NET SDK 8.0. So here you can download this .NET 8.0 SDK. Okay. So already I have installed in my machine. And the second thing is we need Visual Studio 2022. Otherwise, we can use this VS Code. Okay. So in this video, I am going to use this Visual Studio only. So if you don't have, you can download the free version and you can install it. Okay. From the Microsoft link, we can download this community version. This is completely free. So in case if you are using this VS Code, then we have to deal with commands. Okay. So already I have done some videos in this .NET 6. In this .NET 8, I will make the separate video for that. Okay. And the final one is for the database. I am using this SQL Server. For SQL Server also we have a free version. Okay, using this link we can download. Okay, already I have installed in my machine. And then I have created one database test underscore db. It's having some tables. For the example purpose we can use in our video. Okay. The next thing is I'm going to create one new application using this create new project option, and the template we can use this ASP.NET Core Web API. So if it is not showing here, actually I recently opened, that's what it's showing here. Otherwise just search here. So here we will see different templates like NAT, AOT. So in our side we are going to use this ASP.NET Core Web API and the C# version. So the next thing is we have to provide our application name and then choose the path for our application. Okay, and finally this tick, place the solution and project in the same directory. That is fine. Next, the defaultly it's chosen as .NET 8 long-term support. So in this drop down we can see this .NET 7, 6, 5. So anyway it is chosen automatically for the latest version. And authentication type, so currently I'm not choosing anything. Then configure for HTTPS, it's needed. Enable open API support, it's needed. Use controller. Then finally we can create. Okay. Okay, the application is created. Just we can review the files. First in this property section we have this launch settings.json. Okay, in this file the configuration done for the application launching. So you can see this for the HTTP and HTTPS and launch URL is Swagger. And next in our controller side we have a default controller, that is our weather forecast controller. Okay, it is having one basic get method. Okay. And next in our app settings.json, it's having the basic logging, and additionally we can include some app settings and configuration information. Next we can see one HTTP file, that is the only thing newly added in this .NET 8 comparing to the previous version, so that we can see later. And the file. So here in the services, the add controller and the Swagger are defaultly included. And see the Swagger configuration, it's only enabled for the development side. Okay. So in this place we can include our database context, and for the dependency injection purpose we can register our interfaces in these services, and then one sample model file. Okay, it's having 4 properties. Next let me run this application. Okay, application running now. It is opened in this Swagger. Okay, the launch URL is set as Swagger. So these all the things are available in the previous version also. Okay, so in this .NET 8 they provided one new option, as I mentioned, that is the HTTP. So using this file also we can do the same testing. Okay, so currently you can see the controller weather forecast and it's having one get method. So while clicking this send request we are getting the same response. This is the one formatted. See, the status is 200, and this is the raw data and headers, and finally this request information. So let me close this one, then we can view in the full screen. Okay, so not only for this get method, using this option we can check all the HTTP verbs. Okay, so if you want to create one new request, so first of all we have to include this 3/. This is the syntax. Then we can verify all types of method. So anyway, we can check one by one. So next I am trying to create one new controller. Okay, by creating this controller we have this MVC and DAP option. Since our application is API, we can use the API option, and in this controller side also we have a different options. So I am going to use the empty only associate. Okay, here we can have one constructor. Next, creating one sample get method. Okay, and we can provide the name is get all, and we can use the same name. Okay, and defaultly I'm just providing the return type is okay. Okay, this is fine. So anyway, it's not going to return any value. We can just see the response is 200. So we can test using our HTTP file. Okay, so if I'm clicked, I can see just this weather forecast only. So if I need to check the newly created, you can go to this endpoint explorer. Okay, so here you can see this newly created method. Just click and generate request. So now you can see the new request also available. Okay, API slash associate slash get all. So once you click this send request, there is no connection. The reason is our application not in the running mode. So let me run this one. Okay, now application in this running mode, that we can see in this Swagger, and also we can test it from our HTTP file. See, we got a response as 200, but there is no data. Okay, so the next thing is we can connect with our databases. So I'm going to use the entity framework core, and we can use the database first approach. Okay, first I'm installing the required libraries. If you searched with entity framework core, then you can see lot of suggestions. So the first required library is entity framework core. So you can see the latest version is 8. So the most of the videos you can see this code first approach. Since I'm having the created database, I'm just following this database first approach. Okay, so if you exactly need the code first approach, I have done the videos in .NET 6, and if you're required in this .NET 8 also, let me know. I will create the separate video. So now we have installed this entity framework core, and additionally we can use this SQL server and this entity framework core tools also. Okay, first installing this SQL server, because I'm going to execute the scaffold command for generating the model from our SQL server database. So then these are the libraries are needed. Okay, SQL server also done, and the final one is tool. Okay, the installation is completed, so that we can verify from this package side. See this entity framework core, SQL server, and the tools. And the next thing is let me execute the scaffold command for generating this model in this package manager console, and this is the command. Okay, so the first one, like a scaffold hyphen db context, that is the syntax. So next to providing this connection string, here the first one is server. So server, actually we can get it from our SQL server itself. Okay, see, So here we will get the server name. And then database, I am using this test underscore DB and trusted connection true, and trusted server certificate also true. Okay, so I am just using this Windows authentication. You can use the SQL authentication also. And for the package point of view, I'm using this Microsoft Entity Framework Core.SQL server. And finally, this output directive. I just mentioned main folder is repos. Inside the folder is models. Okay, so you can see the folders also created, and inside that we have the model folder. So there we can see all the model for the existing tables, and then this context that we are generating in the name of land data context, and the context directory is repos. We are just creating inside this repos folder. Okay, and I included this data annotations. So that means if you are checked in one of the model, see, it's created this data annotation string in the Unicode key. So that's why we have provided this data annotation. So now look like the command is executed. There is some warning that we can see. So now if I go to this database context, you can see this connection string is hard coded. So that's what we got the warning also. So actually we can move this connection string in our app settings.json. This is very simple. Okay, so if you search it here, it's having the, so defaultly it's providing the suggestion is connection string. So here we can provide our connection string name, and then this value we can take it from our database context itself. So the next thing is we need to access this connection string. So what we can do, let me remove this section. Okay, it's not needed now. For accessing this one, we can do in our program.cs file. Okay, so here in the services, the Swagger is included, add controller also included. So additionally, we can include our database context also. It's very simple. Services, add DB context, and then our DB context is land data context. Okay, use SQL server, and here we need to provide the connection string. Builder dot configuration dot get connection string. Maybe we can put in the next line itself. So the connection string value that we can get it from our app settings.json. Okay, now we have done the basic setup. And next in our controller side, so already I have created the constructor. Here I am going to inject this database context. Okay, okay, now this is fine. So next we can implement our getAll function in the standard way. So let me make this function into asynchronous, and included this task. Okay, and then declaring one variable. Since it is the asynchronous function, we can use the await keyword. This dot context, and we can access the table customer. Okay, and just I'm converting this into list. We can use the asynchronous function. That's it. Okay, next I'm just checking if it is having any value, any data, then we can just return with this value underscore data. And in this else scenario, so defaultly we can just return not found. That is more than enough. And there is no build error. Next, let me run this application and we can verify. I hope it will work. Then we can focus on the different HTTP verbs like a put, post, delete. Okay, from the Swagger it is opened. See, the exact data loaded. Okay, so the same thing we can try from our HTTP file also. There it is. Yes. See now, it's returning some actual record. Okay. So next we can write one post method. Okay. So let me copy this one and changing this get into post and making this function name into create, and the function name also changed. Okay. So here we have to include the parameter. We can directly use this model. Okay. And we can remove this response, and in this functionality point of view this data declaration also not needed. We can use this add asynchronous. That's it. Here we can pass this table object. So in the next line we can save this one. Save change asynchronous. So finally we can return the full records. First we can verify HTTP file. So if you checked here, it's having only this get all function. Okay, so the newly created function is not coming. So what we can do, just we can open this endpoint explorer. So here we can see this function. Just right click and it will open these two options. We can choose this generate request. So now in this scenario we can see the function is create and content type is included, and this commanded line is table customer. This is actually one of the drawback in this HTTP. Okay, so if we checked in this Swagger, we will get the exact input object, I mean the format. Okay, we can just replace this one. So I'm providing some default value. Okay, and some number is provided. So let me execute them. Okay, we got a 200 response. So in this record point of view, the final row, see, we got this new record. So this is the object we have passed. It's available there. Okay, so we can just confirm in our get all method itself also. It's there. Okay, so now our post functionality also working fine. So next we can focus on the put HTTP verb. So again I'm just copying this one, changing this HTTP verb post into put, and the name is update, and we are passing this new object and then key value. There is a key value. Okay, we are just declaring one more variable. First our default asynchronous for accessing the single object, and if it is having the data only we are proceeding further. and this add line is not needed. So in our side, what we can do, we can change the values. Data dot name equal to, we are getting value from the parameter and then assigning into our object. So code is a unique value that we cannot modify. Okay, we are just modifying these four values only. Okay, and the response types are same only, and I don't think there is any other changes. So let me run once again and we can verify. And generating the request. So in this put method, first we need to provide this value. So we can use this 3-1, okay. And in this object point of view, and I'm just changing this into sing. And in this number, at the end I added as 1. Credit limit I changed into 2000. And in this email also included yes. So let me send the request now. Okay, I got the response. This is not updated. Okay, we can debug and confirm why it is not happened. So let me send the request once again. We can make the change here. Now let me try once again. Okay, now the exact value is coming. Now looks like it is completed. We can verify now once again. See, now it is updated. Still the phone number is not updated. The reason is from the code itself we have not provided. Okay, so we just used this first or default. Similarly, we can use the find asynchronous option also. Here we can just pass this code. That is enough. Okay, now I just included this phone number also. Okay, now this update method also working fine. So final one is delete function. The HTTP method is HTTP delete. So this is very simple. HTTP delete, and we can provide the name is remove. And the parameter point of view, we can have only this code. And once it is having the value, and since we don't have any remove asynchronous function, we can just remove this await. Okay, so finally we are just saving. So let me include one more get method. Okay, so we were just to return all the records. So based on the ID, we can return the individual object. For that also, let me write one more function. If there is records, then we can just return us. So in this else scenario, we can just say not found. So let me run this one and we can verify both. Okay. So in this get by code, I'm just providing 031. Now it is returning the record. So next in this remove method, Again, I'm just providing this 031. Okay, now it is got removed and return the new record. So in this new list, there is no record for this 031. Okay, and again we can run this get by code method. See, now we got this not found. That's it. So now we successfully completed the full CRUD actions like get, put, post, and delete method. So still, if you have any doubts or clarification, please post in the comment box, and also please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thanks for watching.